You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, with Lulu Spencer back and her first encounter after her coma being with Cody Bell, I've seen some fans feeling a vibe there. I sensed it too. I told a couple of you guys in the comments I actually was doing this video, and here I am doing it. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about whether Dante Falconeri's childhood friend and his ex-wife might end up in a totally unexpected romance that could take everyone by surprise. And if you're not following us, though, please hit that subscribe button. Now let's talk about it. So I know people are torn about whether they want to see Lulu reunite with Dante. A lot of people do, some people don't. They did have a sweet love at one point, but he struggled after that WSB assignment when, he couldn't stop the voices in his head and the mission and all that. And as a result of that, not that he wanted to, but it did mess up his marriage with Lulu. Even Dante acknowledged the issue and the guilt he still feels about it. And Cody, of course, has been there for him, which makes anything that happens between Lulu and Cody more complicated. And of course, I know there's a faction of fans that hope and expect Lulu and Dante to reconcile ASAP. I don't see it going that way. I think they have a long road ahead to a reunion. I think it will happen, but not soon. And as a result, Lulu might fall into another romance in the meantime. As for Dante, I don't see him dating anybody else, but I do think he's just going to remain caught up in his grief over losing Sam McCall, and I think that's going to last for a while. It's all so complicated for Dante. If Sam had died in a random event, a car accident, a natural disaster, a plane crash, even a medical condition, heart attack, cancer, stroke, stuff that happens to people, I think it would be very different for Dante than it is now. Of course, he'd still be upset to lose her, absolutely devastated, but, he would see that there was nothing he could do, no way to stop Sam dying, and he wouldn't have had a hand in it in a way. But because Sam died after donating a chunk of her liver to save Lulu's life, Dante is plagued by guilt. He is certain that Sam got tested to donate because she loved him and Rocco Falconeri so much that she wanted to help if she could. And that is why she got tested, 100%. So Dante feels like it's absolutely his fault that Sam died. And some people have told him, don't take Sam's agency from her. She made this choice. You couldn't have stopped her. But Dante still feels that way. And of course, Danny and Scout are now motherless. And also remember, Lulu doesn't know any of this. And when she was asking him and Rocco about her recent surgical scar, Rocco did mention she needed a transplant. And then Dante kind of cut him off and rapidly changed the subject. He wants to make sure that Lulu is truly healthy, recovered, and stable before Dante starts unpacking how his life has moved on while she was asleep, how Rocco's life has moved on, how everyone's lives have moved forward because life moves forward. Lulu's memory is coming back pretty well because she remembers Dustin, her boyfriend. She remembers the proposal, and then it was Dante who told her that Dustin had died. And I do suspect Lulu, if she doesn't already remember, will remember soon that she did plan to tell Dante she loved him and wanted him back. And she still might tell him that, but gosh, the timing is not right for that confession. So on a recent GH, you should have seen Danny Morgan lurking outside the room where Rocco, Dante, and Lulu were talking in the Quartermaine living room. And she called them her guys, and they had this group hug. And obviously this is hitting Danny hard because Rocco's got his mom back, which he wanted for him. But at the same time, Danny's lost his. So he's watching him get these hugs from a mom when Danny doesn't have a mom anymore. And Dante's very sensitive to all of this, about Danny's feelings, about Scout's feelings. And even if he was ready to consider a new romance, which he's not, he is not. You know, Dante would think very carefully about how it would affect the children and whether it might hurt them. You know, he would not want them to feel like he just turned around and replaced Sam. So yeah, I just for all those reasons, I cannot see Dante getting involved with Lulu right now or anytime soon. And in Port Charles time, bear in mind, it's been like a couple of days since Sam's funeral. So this is a fresh and open wound. And that's part of why I suspect Dante had kind of a lackluster response to seeing Lulu at the Q mansion. Like, he's just numb, you know? And then he saw her and he was just like, what? You know, Dante was like, hey, you're awake. And he was happy for Rocco, of course. And I know he's happy for Lulu, but he's just so far underwater with grief and worrying about what's best for all three of the kids. And, you know, just trying to figure out how to put one foot in front of the other is hard for him right now. So let's flip over and talk about Cody Bell for a second. He and Dante have been friends since way back in the Bensonhurst days. And I am certain Cody has heard tons about Lulu and she's heard about him, but I'm assuming they never met before, or they would have known each other when Cody picked her up hitchhiking. I mean, surely Cody's seen a photo of Lulu at Dante's house, but maybe, you know, he didn't recognize her because she was out of context. Hoodie, I don't know. Anyway, GH decided to play Cody clueless to her identity, and he still does not know the name of the pretty girl he picked up near Turning Woods, but made sure she got safely back to Port Charles and gave her his phone number just in case she needed something. But it's not going to be too long before Lulu and Cody are properly introduced, since he lives above the stables on the Q property, and that's where Dante and Rocco are living. Lulu, of course, will be around, and they should run into each other very soon. And, you know, meanwhile, we're waiting to see if Lulu tells Dante she still wants him and gets rejected, because that's the only response he would give. You know, would be no, or at the very nicest, not right now, but probably no in general. And, you know, maybe there's a chance Lulu realizes that she should not confess her feelings, that it's a terrible time to do it, and just has to bury those down while Dante is dealing with his grief. Either way, Lulu is going to be single still when she runs into Cody soon. And of course, he's single as a Pringle and all caught up in his pessimistic feelings after kissing his cousin and then Sasha dumping him. Thankfully, they never took that cousin love into the bedroom, but needless to say, Cody is lonely and hurting and angry, and there's no one really to be mad at, which is even harder because you don't have a place to put the anger. And Lulu, of course, is going to be hurting soon when she finds out that Dante fell in love with Sam and proposed right before Sam died. And it's not just that Dante was dating Sam. They had a life together, a family. They were planning this future, you know. They were engaged, and it was all just cut tragically short. So in a recent interview with Soap Digest, actress Alexa Havins, aka the new Lulu, said she thinks Lulu still loves Dante, but the feeling is not reciprocated right now because his heart is still with Sam. And she doesn't know where the story's going. She's curious to see. And so, yeah, maybe Lulu finds a new romance with a nice guy, even if he's not the love of her life, who just is unavailable right now because Dante's just not available. I enjoyed that easy chemistry and banter between Cody and Lulu, you know, even though it was a brief car ride. And I've seen on Soap social media and here in the comments that other people have noticed something there, a vibe. And, you know, for Cody, there's no chance of him going back to his last romance since Sasha is, you know, awkwardly family. And Lulu's last relationship was with nice guy Dustin, but he is dead because Cyrus Renaud blew up the floating rib. So I'll say this, I could definitely see General Hospital pairing Cody with Lulu, not as her Mr. Right, but as her Mr. Right now. Lulu could help Cody's broken heart heal, and he could help her get back into the swing of things in Port Charles after years trapped in a hospital bed. And of course, a big question is, how would Dante react to the idea of his good friend Cody dating his ex-wife Lulu? And honestly, I could see Dante being relieved. You know, he's got enough guilt in his life about Sam. The last thing he needs is more guilt over Lulu sitting around pining for him when Dante's in no frame of mind to even consider a reunion and no idea if and when he's ever going to heal and want to be in another relationship, you know? So if we do get this unexpected romance with Lulu and Cody, I think it would be something light, something fun, something casual, not head over heels, get a ring on the finger, run to the church, fiery romance, nothing like that. So we'll see how it goes. I cannot wait to see Dante introduce Lulu to Cody if he's the one who makes the introduction, because of course he's going to find out that his friend is the one that helped her get away from Cyrus. And he owes him a big thanks for that, if nothing else.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.